All right, guys, what's up? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And if you haven't noticed by the excitement in my voice right now, there's been a huge XDefiant official confirmation, or should I say confirmations from Mark Rubin, as well as the update from Tom Henderson, the guy who has been the credible leaker, the inside gaming guy who's been right about Call of Duty for so many times. His track record is pretty damn good, etc., etc. We mentioned him in my last video. And of course, we also mentioned, I believe in my last video, talking about, well, maybe the reason for the delay could be that Ubisoft is forcing the devs to put skill-based matchmaking into the game. Well, let's just say that Mark Rubin has pretty much addressed a lot of the major concerns after, like, what, 2 months of silence. But in order for me to be extremely precise with this video, I actually have to explain in the order of how everything came to be, not only so that way you can understand the story of how this all unfolded, which is absolutely epic, but also because something epic happened to me as well, as being a part of the XDefiant community, so to speak, right? So here's how it went. I went to XDefiant Informer's stream. I saw that he was live streaming, and he's always got good info coming on. He's very good with his community. He himself is an excellent community member, and I look forward to great things from him when it comes to content creation and covering XDefiant. The guy is miles ahead of me in terms of quality of content and everything like that. And lo and behold, he sees that I'm in the chat in his stream, and he actually shouts me out. So I just wanted to say thank you. Now, don't get me wrong. If people did subscribe, I just want to say welcome to the channel. I really appreciate it. But with that being said, even if nobody did subscribe, it's the principle that actually made me feel like really good inside and put a smile on my face, and quite frankly, made my day. So I just wanted to say thank you very much if you happen to be watching this. And so that didn't just start there. It just so happened that I found out through watching his stream that today was the day that Tom Henderson was going to release that update to let us know what's been going on behind the scenes, right? Or what he thought was going on behind the scenes, or what his insiders were telling him that seemed to be completely false. But before we get there, I actually need to read it to you so that way you understand of where we're going with this. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up a little bit. So the article itself is titled "Exclusive: What's Going On with XDefiant," and it reads, and I quote, "In September of 2023, Ubisoft had a free-to-play gem on their hands, XDefiant. The gameplay was good, the community was bustling, transparency from developers was highly praised, and most of all, the game had a really passionate and dedicated community. 6 months on, and things are somewhat different for XDefiant, with fans increasingly expressing their frustrations with the lack of updates. According to Ubisoft's Q3 2024 earnings report, XDefiant is scheduled to be released by the end of Q4 2024, which is March 31st of 2024, but with just 1 week until the date, there's been zero indication of a release. The once low transparency is now seemingly dead, and XDefiant hasn't had an update for some time. Speaking with developers at Ubisoft who wish to remain anonymous because they are not authorized to speak about company plans, it's understood that XDefiant was aiming to release during the last week of February, with this internal release date that was made public by Ubisoft's earnings call, a deadline that was obviously missed. Insider Gaming understands that XDefiant has missed dozens of internal targets in the last couple of years, including release dates, putting the game firmly in the realm of other Ubisoft titles such as that is constantly in limbo. Developers working on the project are becoming increasingly frustrated with the lack of progress, and in short, the game's shortcomings stem from the executives' pursuit of trying to copy Call of Duty rather than building their own game. Creatively, it's frustrating for the team, but from a technical perspective, it also presents new challenges and has become the main reason for delays. The never-ending hunt to chase COD and add pointless stuff already breaks the current build, said one source, which often then requires days of fixing the game. Scrolling down a little bit more. So as it's generally always the case with games in limbo, the root of the problem comes from the higher-ups of the developers left with the burden. In truth, if you're a fan of XDefiant, I would be a little bit more wary in the future of the whole open transparency thing, as it usually has bigger implications that doesn't reflect on what's truly going on. So the big question, when will XDefiant release? It's a great question and is likely why Ubisoft has been silent on the matter of months, because, in short, I don't think they even know. The good news is that the game isn't in danger of being canceled, and development is still ongoing at its usual rate. In fact, just today, XDefiant had a substantial playtest to test the netcode, online store, social media tabs, etc. And the current plan is to have another large open public test as soon as possible. So when, I don't have any internal release dates right now, and to be honest, I'd be pointless to saying anyway. We're probably still a good few months from release, as feedback from the next public test session is taking on board. Now, that was the insider leak info, and literally minutes, and I swear when I say this, minutes after this was posted, Mark Rubin had a little something to say over on Twitter or X. So where am I going to start here? Well, I am actually going to start with the very first reply, and then after that, I'm going to read Mark Rubin's tweets and a few of the replies down below that apply to everything that we need to know, and that has been on our minds for literally a couple of months now since the last time Mark Rubin even farted on Twitter, so to speak, right? As some of the community members like to say. So Mark Rubin responds to that article, literally. He says, "Just an FYI, nothing about our delay is due to any new features. In fact, not much has changed from a gameplay standpoint. The gameplay has been due to the tech issues that we've talked about. Whoever said chasing COD in Tom's report was major eye roll." So right there, Mark Rubin, right off the top right there, is basically saying no, that's not true, or there's been some trolling going on, right? So anyway, but wait, there's more, and it's juicy too. Today's a juicy one, guys. All right, so now I am looking at Mark Rubin's Twitter, and I think you guys will like to hear what he has to say. So here he goes. So he says, "We have an update coming soon, probably this coming week. I know we've been silent because, to be honest, there isn't much to talk about. I know people just want to see the game ship, and so do we. I can't wait to ship just so we don't have to talk about ship dates anymore, and we can talk about more important stuff like gameplay balancing or new content modes, maps, etc. Just to be clear, we are not just sitting around with the game fixing every last little bug. Nobody launches perfect bug-free games. We do our best, but it's just not realistic to think that. We had major technical issues, and we found right before we launched that we had to be fixed. And that's what the team has been working on. And they're not just minor bug fixes, but major infrastructure and full system overhauls. The game remains the same that you played already, which we have strived to make as fun as possible, which we feel confident about. So aside from questions about launch, which I can't talk about, I'm happy to chat about almost anything else related to the game. For instance, I can confirm that no push has been made to put SBMM into the game. Our unranked playlist will have no SBMM, and you will get the variety of gameplay that you see when there isn't SBMM. Now, first of all, before continuing on with these juicy tweets, I have to say that this pretty much all but confirms that they probably watch my videos, or at least have seen one or two of my videos. Just kind of saying that, just throwing it out there. But anyway, let's continue on with Mark's tweet, and I think you guys are going to love this. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a great weekend, and thank you all for following XDefiant with so much passion. We love you all. And then he got a response from one member of the community that goes by FreezeOG, and he says, "What about EOMM?" Mark Rubin responds, "Nope. Matchmaking is based on ping." Thank you very much. That I think everything that we were skeptical about, in terms of what can negatively impact the game in the future, if Mark Rubin is being honest, which I believe he is, I truly believe he is, I will say that all those worries have pretty much been put to rest. And it's also been confirmed that all the content in the game will remain the same. There's additional replies and stuff like that, but I just wanted to get the most important things. And at the same time, I didn't want this video to be too incredibly long. And I wanted to get the news out there for you guys, because I know that a lot of you guys have been just waiting for XDefiant. You guys have made that very apparent in my last video, to where you guys had a lot of things to say in the comments section, and you guys are, and I thank you all very much for that, by the way. That video did amazingly well, and there were a lot of comments in the comment section with a lot of different points of view, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite things. But at this point right now, you guys remember the overhaul in Call of Duty World War II? When that overhaul came out, it was months after Schofield and Condrey left. Okay, and then Aaron Hanlon was in charge, and then I'd probably say maybe a couple months or so after Schofield and Condrey either left or got fired or whatever the deal was, we got the overhaul in Call of Duty World War II, which literally made the game that much better and addressed a lot of the issues which fans had with the game, and therefore Call of Duty World War II later on became kind of like a cult Call of Duty, to where it was, in a lot of people's eyes, a top 5 COD, at least during the season, and if not, slightly after that as well, even well after. I know people that still enjoy Call of Duty World War II to this day, and quite frankly, I can't blame them, to be honest with you. But with that being said, I want to know down in the comment section, guys, what do you think about this news? Does this put your worries to rest? By the way, there's no indication whatsoever that the game is getting canceled. That's pretty much been confirmed. And the fact that there's no SBMM, no EOMM is something that is... It's a big relief to me. It gets me that much more excited for the game, and it actually fuels me up to make more content for the game. It sucks that no official information comes out on a regular basis. However, I will say that next week, thanks to Mark Rubin's tweets here, we are getting another official type of report, so to speak. So I can't wait for that. I'm pretty sure it's going to say additional things that weren't mentioned in these particular tweets. But it seems like Mark Rubin was kind of waiting for what Tom Henderson had to say. It seems like he was waiting because it was literally minutes. And lo and behold, Mark Rubin replied. So first of all, I wanted to say thank you to XDefiant Informer, also known as Buckeyes, or Buckeyes Plays over on Twitter. Go give him a follow. Go watch his channel or whatnot. I'll leave everything in the description box below. But and as well as Mark Rubin. Thank you, Mark Rubin, for after 2 months of just having your head down and overhauling the game and fixing all the other bugs, big and small or whatnot, for finally updating us. And thanks to Tom Henderson, because even though he might have been trolled as far as his insider sources are concerned, or maybe a part of what he had said maybe was true. Maybe not all of it was BS. Maybe part of it was true. Like, for instance, we might have an open session sometime as soon as possible. Hell, it could be at the end of this month. You never know. It might be what Mark Rubin is talking about in terms of what an update we might get next week. So all of that is definitely possible, and we're only days away from finding out, guys. So for me personally, I'm excited. It fuels me up, and I'm glad that we got responses to literally the most important questions or things that we've been wondering, whether it's been in video form or whatever other form. I'm glad we got an official answer today, and I think I speak for the majority of the community, if not all the community, that that we're very thankful for this. So anyway, with that being said, I want to know down in the comment section what you guys think. I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to watch and or listen, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.